Hey everyone, it's great to see you. Today we're going to be going through CSP 1.80 preview, content manager settings. That's all those new settings, and I'm going to show you where they are and what they do. As ever, thank you for visiting the channel. If you are new here, do check out all the rest of the videos on the channel, over 270 now. And before we jump into the main video, I had to show you this mod. So I downloaded this today and it's stunning and I wanted to share it with you guys. So this is the BMW M1 Pro car version 2.6. Now it's by Marcel Erner, but it was originally ported by SMS from Project Cars. Mascot's been involved, Val Driver has, De Wallace, a number of people. It looks stunning. So there's new rims and colours on this, reworked shader settings, fixed headlights, new shift animations. There's optional 2K skins. There's a couple of new skins in here as well. 468 brake horsepower, this car 391 Newton meters of torque. Obviously it was manufactured between 78 and 81, only weighs 1,000 kilograms, 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. And as ever with all the mods that are in my videos, the link will be in the description, so do support the modder. Right then, here we are in my content manager, and here's the BMW M1 Pro car that I've just been driving. It looks gorgeous in this yellow, so you can see all the stats there, and I just wanted to show you the number of skins that were on this. All sorts of different skins. So Niki Lauda and Nelson Piquet both won in this Pro Car series in 79 and 80, so definitely one to add to your collection. But we are here to talk about the latest version of CSP, so I dropped a video on this a few days ago. Do check it out. I'll put the link at the top now if you've not seen that yet. And you can see here I'm at 0.1.8 preview 1. That is the latest one as this video goes out. Obviously they're always being updated, but you can see all the green dots down here. There is a lot of changes in this update, so I thought it would be great to put a video out just to talk you through some of these so we can see what they all are. So this update has been a few months in the making, so it does seem that there's a lot in here. So the first one we're going to go in is general patch settings, and we've got a couple of settings at the top here. The first one is use separate process for crash messages, and the second is clear shaders cache when CSP version changes, so that helps with game freezing when loading or exiting. So all of that is pretty good. And then there is another option here which is enable caching, which could improve loading speed. So these are all things to click if you're having a few problems and you think it might help you out. There's also one here, enforce latest shared memory library. It replaces siminfo.py library. Most apps use it by its latest version, and that by the looks of it is fixing a bug. But if we move a little bit further down on this section, we've got an online tweak here. So this is fixed steer angles for remote cars, so it removes the 127-degree cap. Obviously there's been some issues with that. So we've also got an optimizations at the bottom here, skip creating setup folders for every installed track, and I think that's a bit of a workaround that just improves some performance there, so it's not building a setup folder for every time it's loading a track. And cache AC memory layout, which improves loading speed again. So a couple of optimizations there. It looks like this caching issue here that Ilya's been working on will help some people, so if you are seeing some problems, jump in and click on those. I don't think you're going to hurt anything by using those. Next up, we're moving to DXGI, and there is an update here as well. So remember, DXGI, various tweaks and options for DirectX graphics cards. Pause in background here, so if you do click on that, it lowers frames per second to a frame every 2 seconds when AC is in the background. So if you flick in between two different areas, sometimes I am actually running AC and something else, that will just help with performance of your PC. Next, we're up to extra effects, and there's a couple of new things in here that we want to talk about. So remember, extra effects is all the secondary rendering paths, allowing you to see more visual effects. So we've got a quality section here. Now I've already changed this to high Z new, but you can see we've got the old ones, which was low, medium and high. Now we've got simple new and high Z new. So again, something to look at there and change some of the quality settings. As ever with all of these quality settings, and this is in SSLR, which we knew there was going to be some updates, do make sure that you test them, and then you can always come back and change them back if you need to. The glowing emissive piece, which you'll see in my last video, which is going to be implemented in all of the new tracks, I would imagine some of that lighting effects, it's really cool. That's ticked at the moment, but it won't probably have too much of a difference until some of those are implemented. Light bounce emulation requires space screen lighting, also on cars as well. I've got that ticked, and again, as these get implemented, you'll see graphical updates as you play Assetto Corsa. Next up, we're over to GUI. Now this has got a number of different areas in here, but we're going to go up to new apps down the bottom here. So we now have a mirrors configurator that adjusts mirrors orientation with real mirrors enabled. We've also got controller tweaks here. And this can actually alter force feedback settings while you're driving with changes applying live, and it can also adjust gamepad or keyboard settings. That's really useful on force feedback. Also, we've got setup exchange, so you can extend your AC car setup menu with options for sharing and loading setups. That's going to be really useful too. And what have we got down the bottom here? The first one is show manual pit speed limits in pits, only for servers with automatic pit speed limiter disabled. We've also got show an icon if manual pit speed limiter is active. That's great. And we've got show a warning message about manual pit limiter. That's all new. So all those three options are new. They're extra HUD elements. Right, next we're going to go on to lighting effects. Now remember, lighting effects adds various car lights, track lights, castage lights, not emissive stuff, as Aaliyah says, as well as dynamic ambient colors. We've got detailed car shadow here. Now this is new, and it's the number of closest cars casting detailed shadows instead of the way that it used to work. Now if you put it anything other than 1, it does go in red, which probably tells me it's probably not ideal to do that. Also, this setting is in dynamic shadows, which is an expensive setting. That means if you've got a lower end PC, you probably don't want to put it on, or do experiment. You can also put it on, take it off, and see what's best for you. Next, we're into new AI behavior, and I've had a number of questions about parts of this, but firstly we've got some new AI retirement settings. Go to pits if taken a lot of damage, and teleport to pits if taken too much damage. These are both for the AI, so if there's a problem with them and they're just sat at the side of the track, that will change it. But the big one is AI rubber banding. Now I've not got this active at the moment, but there's a number of settings here. So with rubber banding, cars behind you would drive faster and cars in front would be slower with AI level offset. Offsets grow from 0 to specified value based on how the time on AI car was ahead or behind. So this gives you a number of sliders where you can increase for the cars behind you, in front of you, as well as changing the distance to apply. You see here it's set at 200 meters. Decrease percentage, you've got time to apply as well. So a number of things you can play about with there. So do let me know in the comments how you've got on with that. Next, we're into particle effects, which of course is adding all the soft particle effects to Assetto Corsa. This is where the heat shimmer is. So if you've not clicked on this, this is where it is. Updated heat shimmer, and it adds more sources and more conditions for heat shimmer. It requires a restart. If it says requires restart, when you're clicking it, you're just going to need to restart Content Manager and your Assetto Corsa. Next, we're on to skid marks FX, and we've got a different box here. Look, optimize overlying marks during loading to improve rendering performance. So it fades out traces that overlap too much. So instead of just building up lots of skid marks, what it will do is it will reduce some of those, just so you still got the graphical effect, but it's helping you with performance. Next, we're on to smart mirror. Add MIPS to rear view mirror. So this is reducing aliasing in reflections, requires restart again to see the changes. So I think that's something to do with improving performance. Looks like a good one to click on there. And next we're on to weather effects. But before we look at the change, let me just show you here about the controller script and weather script. I know we've got people coming to the channel with all sorts of different experience. So remember here, if you are getting any iffy things happening when you've upgraded, you know, Sol, and you're trying Pure out, that you're picking the right one in here. See, I've got some very old ones in here, but make sure you've got the latest versions installed and you've chosen them in there. The piece that's changed in here under miscellaneous is in quick drive weekend mode, reset time to starting time of the next day for following sessions. So reset time on subsequent sessions, that's new. Next one to more tweaks VR, and I am going to do another VR settings video, guys. I've been asked for it a lot. There is going to be another one coming out very soon. So here you've got single pass stereo, and we can click on active on there. So I've not done that. I'm not running VR at the moment. So this is all your VR settings. So do let me know in the comments how you've got on with the VR settings in this. And then we're on to small tweaks. So in small tweaks, nothing specific, as Ilya says at the top, just some random tiny options. So turn driver's head with free and orbit cameras. Now that's not switched on. I'm going to click that on because I think that's pretty cool. So when you're outside of the car in the camera, I think it's going to move the driver's head, which would be pretty cool. Mumble integration, auto connect to linked Mumble servers online. So that's it. You can specify the Mumble servers there. So that's great. And then this one I've had a number of questions about as well. PlayStation 5 DualSense controller integration. I've actually driven AC with the PlayStation 5 DualSense. Works really well. And you can see you can click on that active here. And there's a number of different options that you've just got better integration now. And all of the LEDs and all the bars and everything, people are going to be able to program those for AC, which is great. Force feedback adjustment, there is a new piece there as well. So options for adjusting force feedback with new input bindings available in AC settings, controls, patch, can be used with wheels, gamepads and such. So some more options there for force feedback. So I'm just going to go back into Assetto Corsa and controllers. So when you do plug your DualSense in, you will see it here under controllers, and from there you'll just be able to change all of the buttons and do everything that you would normally do with a controller, and it does work absolutely fine. You just need a USB-C obviously connected to plug that into your PC. So I've just gone through there all the ones that have got green dots on them there, or the brand new ones for 1.8. So that's it guys. I just thought that video would be really useful for people asking me what's new in 1.8 apart from all the big ticket items. As ever, thank you so much for watching today. If you've not subscribed yet, it is free. Click on that subscribe button and the thumbs up would really help me out with YouTube. See you soon guys.